Morning. It's great to be back. The start of our conference schedule, an opportunity to be 1-0 in conference, I think is a great opportunity for us as a football program and a conference that does not have a championship game. Every conference game becomes a championship game, and I think the team understands that. 11 a.m. local start time. I'm very excited about that. As I think you guys are aware, we are a morning program, and this is a get-up-and-go game, and I think it fits our schedule every day very well. Coach Jones has got a good football team, certainly better than their record for sure. I was fortunate to work in the run and shoot for 5 years, so June Jones is somebody that I am very familiar with from afar, other than the fact that he knows who his opponent is this week. I wouldn't think he knows very much about me, but he is somebody, June Jones, Mouse Davis, the innovators of the run and shoot offense, and somebody that we spent a lot of time studying when I was at Hofstra between 1997 and 2001. Myself, Coach Spence, at the time Coach Brock, and I think we are aware of what we're in for this week. One of the true passing gurus in the country, and he's got Hal Mummy on his staff, who also is certainly one of the great innovators of the passing game this day and age in college football. So we are looking forward to it. We're excited about the challenges of going down to Dallas to try to be 1-0 and 1-0 in our conference, an opportunity to try to take our program somewhere that it's never been before, which is the BCS. So that road begins this Saturday at 11 a.m. local time. Questions?
Kyle, how much will you try to it seems like their offensive line has had protection issues, so they did last week again. Is that something you hope to exploit? And can you do it just with your front four, or do you hope to bring added pressure?
I think, again, I have 5 years of experience being the offensive line coach in this type of system. Not that it was identical, but very similar. And I think the things that became the most challenging for us back then, and I think it'll be the case this Saturday, are when you have to change it up in the game. Certainly, if you could just get pressure with 4 players, that is a huge advantage because you can leave 7 in coverage. But I think that very rarely happens on a consistent basis all the time with just 4 guys. I think the way this offense is designed, at times it's going to be 4, and at times it's going to be 5, at times it's going to be 6, and there's going to have to be a mixture of it, while at the same time disguising which of those 3 options it'll be. I think we've got to really. I know we've got a good plan in place, but we've got to do a good job in the game of trying to mix how we go about trying to get that pressure, because this offense is predicated on triggering the football, and those triggers can sometimes be because of your coverage structure, and sometimes they're because of the pressures that you bring.
Kyle, is there a unique sort of challenge to this conference game, in that it almost feels like a non-conference game, in that this is an opponent that you've never seen before and won't see again?
It does not feel like a non-conference game to us. It's a little bit unique in that it's the first time this group of players, will play against this team. But that happens. That happens all the time for us in the non-conference schedule. But the conference has changed over the last couple of years. Last year Temple was a conference game for us. I think when the players go out there, we talk all week about the opportunity to be 1-0 in conference play, and that is where our entire focus is. It doesn't matter if we're playing SMU or anybody else in the conference. This week it happens to be SMU, so all of our focus goes there, and I think our players are aware that this is a conference game.
Coach, I see on the depth chart you have Lou Toller listed as an or with Nadir Barnwell opposite Ian Thomas. Can you just talk about how that position is shaping up heading into this week?
I think we've got a lot of players there that can play and play winning football for us, and Lou has done a good job for us to this point in the season, and Nadir continues to come on as a younger player. So, we're excited about what he's doing. We need more people there. Garif will not be available to us this week. I apologize if I left him off. Garif, because of personal reasons, will not be available to us for this game. But I'm excited about what the younger players are doing, because we need depth. Guys like Nadir Barnwell, guys like Anthony Chaffee, they're going to play as this season goes on. To date, we're only a third of the way through the season. We've got a lot of football left to play, and we're going to need a lot of players to do it.
Kyle, I see Savon starting, but can you go a little more in depth about the carry distributions between running backs?
I don't know if I could predetermine that. Savon's going to start the game, and I have full confidence in Savon. He's proven to be a guy who can win for us and play winning football, and he'll get the opportunity to go out there and start the game. But I think by the end of the game, you're going to see Justin Goodwin. I think you're going to see Desmond Peoples. We've got some talent. We've got a talented pool of players at that position, and you can't always play 3, 4, 5 running backs in a game. But now with the injury to PJ, these other guys are going to get opportunities, and I know they're excited. I'm excited to see what they can do for us.
Kyle, what have you seen from Darrell Stevenson going into this game? It obviously seems like he's going to have a bigger role in this game than he has ever at Rutgers.
Darrell is somebody that when we recruited him, we had very high expectations for. And the 2 seasons prior to this, he hasn't been available to us. And now he's got the opportunity to be available to us, and he's really made the most of it. And he's getting better every week. We knew he'd be big and strong and physical, and now that he's finally getting the opportunity to play, he continues to get better and better, and all that skill development is paying off for him.
Kyle, how much more prepared is your secondary now to face a prolific passing offense than it was the last time you faced one against Derek Carr? And obviously you have 2 true freshmen on the 2 deep. Are they ready for that? 4
games more prepared is what we are. It'll be another great challenge. SMU, they got an excellent quarterback. I think he's top 10 in the country right now in terms of yards and completions and those type of things. They have 4 different receivers that all are in double digits in terms of receptions. So they spread the field. And again, I've been around this offense enough to know that you don't have that kind of success without a really talented quarterback. And you probably need a really talented quarterback in every offense, but in one that accentuates the passing game the way they do at SMU, they certainly have an excellent quarterback. I think we're certainly more prepared. I think when you play a team like Fresno tested us in ways that are very hard to simulate in practice, and we did the best we could to simulate it, and it wasn't good enough. We needed to play. We needed to be a couple points better than we were, and we weren't. So now we get another opportunity to see where we are, and I think this will be another hurdle or another point in the season where we can say, that we've improved, and how much we've improved. We won't know that till after the game on Saturday.
Kyle, knowing you're going to face a stretch of teams that kind of spread things out, how much did that go into decision? Just the offenses you'd face, with moving guys like Jacobs down the linebacker for more speed and stuff like that, or did it have no influence?
I think you have to have flexibility within your system to play against different offenses, now more than ever, because in our own conference, we've got some teams that'll line up the way we do in a pro-style fashion, and we've got others that'll spread the entire field with skill players, and even if they have tight ends on the field, they're not necessarily attached. So you need to have some guys that can do some different things on defense. And we're fortunate a guy like Davon Jacobs, who could play safety for us, is down now playing linebacker. And the combination of Davon Jacobs and Quentin Gauze really give us an advantage. It's really 2 players playing one. They're not playing the same position, but it's almost 2 players playing one position because Kevin kind of flip-flops back and forth. And those 2 guys have a different skill set. And we saw last week that the matchup really allowed Quentin to excel in the Arkansas game, and Quentin's going to have a role in this game as well. But when teams want to spread the field like this, I think having a guy like Davon Jacobs can be an advantage as well.
Kyle, on that same note, how much would you or would you not prefer to kind of not reduce but scale back the number of responsibilities that Kevin has if you switch linebackers?
I don't concern myself with that. Kevin's a very bright football player. He plays 2 positions. He really could play any of the 3 linebacker positions for us. We've only asked him to play 2 in the games, and it's something he prepares to do every week. He spends a lot of time doing that in preparation, and he'll be ready to do that for us again this Saturday.
Kyle, do you enjoy the challenge, the shift you went from a power running team last game to one that's predominantly, I think they're more than 2-to-1, right, passing? Averaging about 45 passes a game. Do you enjoy that kind of shift week to week or game to game in terms of the philosophy that you face?
I enjoy it. I'd have to ask Coach Cohen if he enjoys it. I think it's playing against all these different styles of offense. It certainly keeps it interesting during the week, and it forces us as coaches to really examine what we do in game planning every week. So obviously we went through a process for the Fresno game, and I thought we were in a lot of good positions, and we needed to tackle better. We've worked a lot on that in the last 4 weeks to get better at it. I think we have gotten better at it. And now we'll be tested in a similar way, although not identical, but in a similar way this weekend. We'll really be able to measure how much better we've gotten at it.
Kyle, some of Gary's best games have been when the other quarterback is a high-profile quarterback, Carr, Tyler Wilson. Do you notice anything different in Gary? Like, I don't know, like the mono. I know he's going against the other team's defense, but when the other quarterback is a high-profile quarterback, do you notice, does that get Gary's juices flowing a little extra? I mean, the mono-y-mono aspect of it.
I don't know. I think players are aware when great players are on the other side of the field, but I think that what you're seeing is probably the product of close games, back and forth type games and games where, we rely on Gary to make a difference in the game, maybe more so than some other games where we might run the ball a little bit more. And as I've said before, Gary's never been somebody who didn't want to be in those big moments. He thrives in the big moment. I think it's one of his strongest qualities as a major college quarterback.
How much is the quarterback a running threat too?
He's athletic. I mean, he wants to move the ball through the air.
Yeah.
But certainly he's athletic enough, and I think when you play against a team that throws the ball as much as they do, you're always aware of the fact you got to keep your pass rush integrity, your pass rush lanes, those type of things, because you don't want to give up a first down with his feet. If they're gonna complete passes, you want to make them complete the passes because there's a higher degree of difficulty certainly when they do that. But I think he's a good athlete.
Anything else, Coach? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.